Bitcoin got rejected pretty harshly from the $40,000 range off of the short squeeze that we told you was being signaled by on-chain metrics, as experts like Willy Woo, Will Clement, and others were indicating for days or even longer than that this was going to happen. So always pay attention to these on-chain metrics. Though as soon as we got to that hallowed land of 40K, like I was saying, there was going to be a test. And unfortunately, my video didn't upload yesterday. Here, the Wi-Fi was not very reliable. However, I was saying that I was not quite full bull yet, and that this short squeeze, while exciting, is just washing out shorts. It's not exactly the same buying energy as when you see everybody net long when you're just essentially having a short squeeze, which is what we saw over the course of this week. Now, what we're going to show you today is exactly where I think the price action is about to go over the short to mid term. So if you guys are excited to see exactly where I think Bitcoin's price is headed and some of the opportunities that I'm looking at with this price dynamic in play, then all you got to do is smash that like button. Remember, each and every comment on this video is entered to win your own hardware wallet. As always, if you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe and put that bell notification on. That way you get around any kind of gatekeeping here on YouTube, and make sure you always see these videos. And as I'm going to show you today, some of the stuff we've been talking about has become massively profitable, up 400% here on the week. Yes, we are covering it all, and all you got to do is destroy that like button. With that said, let's dive in. So we have here the big news of the day, which is that Amazon denied the rumored plans for Bitcoin support. And this was, of course, a big blow because this was the FOMO that had kind of set off this new round of bullishness. And you know, there's some kind of logic here because normally when bullish news like this has a big price impact, that's usually characteristic of a bull market. So that's one good way to view this. However, the reality is, once again, we're being whipsawed and completely dragged around by a few small actors, not small actors, but a few actors and their choices, like we were with Elon Musk. Now we have the Amazon news yo-yoing us around on price. And that is unfortunate because it shows, unfortunately, some signs of immaturity in the market still, but it's also good because usually fundamentally bullish news has no effect really in the bear market. So there's two ways to look at this. Regardless, we're seeing Amazon deny rumors for Bitcoin support at the moment, right? I believe stablecoin support will be coming in the not too distant future, and definitely Bitcoin support at some point will be coming. I mean, technically you can already do it with Visa and other different services. So this was really the big news of the day. It shows several different dynamics going on here, and the denial, whether or not that was more or less known about, it caused a huge dump. And so what we saw was a dump back down to the high 30,000s, as we'll show you in a second. I'm going to show you my prediction, and this is based off of a conversation with Eric Crown, who in my opinion is one of the best TA experts about where this price action is going. So let's talk about price action before we actually even get into any more news. What I see us going towards is something like this. Where we will have a little bit of a push up to the 40,000s, where we'll eventually get tested and we'll probably get rejected down here. And this sweep low is hopefully the higher low here before we go onwards and upwards on a bullish trajectory, back upwards to juicy targets of the high 40s, 50s, and beyond. Now, that would mean, of course, that the bull market's very much back on. This is the optimistic view. And that would also mean that this particular area in the mid to the low 30,000s, if we swoop back down again, would make for some amazing buying opportunities. You don't want to get FOMO'd in up here and then crush down here and then potentially think about selling at a loss here. You want to wait for the retrace here and see where the bullish strength is and hopefully get a juicy entry in here before we have liftoff. That's my particular strategy. You might be saying, okay, well, cool. Well, what are you looking at to buy? To be honest, at this point, y'all are really smart and well educated on the market. You can pick your favorite coins that you know are fundamentally sound and go after them. But I'll share with you some of the ones that I like, not financial advice, just what I'm looking at. Always Ethereum. Obviously, the layer one narrative is going to be very strong if we get those retailers back into the industry. What we saw is just like 2017, we're going to see the Cardano's pump. We're going to see Polkadot, which has been completely decimated. Polkadot is one that I'm looking at very strongly. It's finally getting back to some juicy buy territory, and they've just been shipping some amazing updates. So Polkadot is very much so sleeping and sneaking along here and has a huge opportunity to explode. I think Polkadot is one of the more juicy things on the market right now. Also, Chainlink, definitely looking extra juicy. Polygon has been smacked down quite a bit. As it gets lower, potentially to the 50 to 70 cent range, that might be a very good bidding opportunity if that happens during that dip. Again, I'm just showing you the projects that I think are easy comeback cases to reach their all-time high, and some of them are down significantly. So it's really good to keep that in mind. Now, I did also want to talk about some fundamental news here, which is that the Chicago Bulls are teaming up with Shopify. This article doesn't quite tell the whole story because really what they're integrating here is through Flow blockchain, which is another very good thing for Flow. Flow integrated with Shopify so that you can easily launch NFT shops on Shopify with Flow NFTs. Now, this is just the first integration. I do predict that Shopify will include many more platforms, but this was the easy to do one. And of course, Dapper Labs is a very Silicon Valley VC run company. So of course they had the connections here, but I think it's just the first of many. I think Polygon and Immutable X are two very likely targets for the next set of integrations from Shopify. So this is exactly what we were talking about, which is that Bitcoin traders are seeing this as a much likely higher push up to the 45K range. This is exactly what's talked about and drawn out here in this chart by Crown, is a push up here to the mid 40,000s and then a dip back lower. This is exactly what we're seeing here. And so if maybe it's one of those things where too many people are seeing it, so it doesn't happen, but just keep that in mind. We also got this game Splinterlands that just raised some money coming over and relaunching their SPS token. This is an older game, fully built. And this is a question of whether they can capture some of that Axie hype. I don't know. I'm an investor in this project, but I'll let you guys do your own research. I just think that Axie narrative is really strong right now. But regardless, I find this really funny as well. MasterCard launching a crypto accelerator. Like, it was only a few years ago that MasterCard and Visa and all these companies were completely trashing crypto and would never come near it with a 10-foot pole. And now they're launching their own startup accelerators. How the times have changed in such a short amount of time. So just yet another LOL type headline that just keeps reminding you how amazing what's happening in 2021 is from a fundamental perspective. Even if things seem a little bit shaky and uncertain, that's how all big opportunities seem, in my opinion. Now, finally, I wanted you guys to help me out, draw some support to this tweet. Gary Vee was asking, he wants to do an NFT podcast this week and come on someone's podcast. Obviously, we have non-fungible Tuesdays, so I thought it would be great to get him on there. It's already got 125 likes. Let's just ratio this. Let's see if we can get more likes on this post than his original post. That would be a big statement. Anyway, if you guys can show some love under this, I would much appreciate it. And finally, I just wanted to check in a little bit. There was an NFT project that I told you guys I invested into, and that, I was saying, hey, look, like, this stuff is really experimental, but I'm inspired by it and I like to play and I want to invest in teams that I think have an interesting vision. And the AstroFrens project has just done its reveal. As you can see here, this is the chart here in AstroFrens land. The mint price was like 0.08. And you can see on day one, it was trading for about 0.1 here. And then it just keeps growing and growing. And now the average price in volume is the highest it's ever been. And it looks like it's trading for about 0.32 is the average sale price, which is pretty crazy. That's a 400% gain from the original mint price just days ago. So that's why NFTs are super fun right now. Not only do you get to have a fun piece of art, but there's also quite a bit of profits. Does that mean that this thing is feeling very bubbly and could collapse? Totally possible. So bear that in mind, that this stuff is super experimental. It's not to be treated like a sure thing or like a traditional investment, right? This is just an experiment with new types of IP. So definitely keep that in mind as you're exploring NFT land. But of course, for the last 6 weeks or 7 weeks, it's been absolute pandemonium and firing in NFTs, just nonstop profit. So it's hard not to love it as it attracts more and more big brains and traditional crypto folks into this side of the crypto ecosystem. Really cool stuff. With that said, I mean, we're probably going to pump up to 45, probably going to retrace at that time. That is a juicy buying opportunity if we're able to hold it and grow from there. That mid-30s revisitation after a trip to the 40s would be a fantastic opportunity is what I'm looking at. Again, I'm not getting overly FOMO'd as people were yesterday off the short squeeze. Always fight those emotions and remember that there's always a great opportunity around the corner and to stay unemotional. And guys, I hope this video video helped you, if you got some value out of it, make sure you give me a thumbs up. It's a free and easy way to support the channel. As always, if you guys want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe, put that bell notification on. Remember, each and every comment is entered to win your own hardware wallet. As always, I'm Elio Trades. You can find me on Twitter at Elio Trades. Link is in the description, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.